And we're live, folks. Back again. This is your host, JP, aka the Demon of Literature. You are here with the Shoutouts, same crew as before, because we are bringing to you part 2 of Starsight. As we progress through the evening, and for you, the weeks, we might get more ridiculous. It is possible, as we are enjoying beverages in this extremely lit discussion on literature.
I'll be good.
We do have a babysitter. So let's just get started and go with our flight roll.
Flight roll.
Flight roll.
This is Andrew, call sign captain. Right now I'm coming to you guys from a windowless facility. I just got done with a protest, and they're marching all of us in here. And, our leader, he's like this big gorilla guy. They got him by the arms, and they're holding his face up to a black hole. Oh my god, he's getting sucked into it like Jumanji.
Oh, too long. Oh, Andrew wasn't there for that.
He wasn't.
He doesn't understand the joke. I'm sorry, Andrew. I wasn't saying your thing was too long.
That was awesome.
Ben, call sign Hitman. I want to say roll call.
We need to have Andrew go
I
last.
said roll
It seems
call.
so like
That's what I wanna
anticlimactic.
say.
It's like this big long story, and then Ben, Hitman, Brett, director, Brett, call sign director. I'm just sitting here in the endless, quiet blackness, and there's all these communications going by, and they're frustrating and annoying, and I just want them to shut up, and I think I'm going to teleport into their world and just destroy them because they won't shut up.
Oh my god, he's a Delver!
No!
What's a delver? Those bugs.
Just sitting here delving.
Those annoying bugs. Those bugs. This is JP, call sign the Demon.
Boom.
All right, folks. I believe we left you talking about Brade, and we should probably just start this up.
Start with Brade.
Might as
Braid
well
it in.
knock Brade out of the water. Except for if it makes sense to save some components of it. Just let the discussion be organic. But we are going to talk story, obviously. But Brade. Good old La Brade.
La Brade.
Personally, my thought, we kind of talked about a little bit about it last episode, but I'll kick it off by just launching the grenade into the center of the table by saying that I think that Brade was judged by Spin completely wrong. I think she's ambitious. I think she knows exactly what she's doing. And I think she's ambitious and don't give no two shits about humankind or what kind, and cares about Brade kind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that that's generally right. I do think that she is genuinely bothered by the fact that she's constantly being judged for being human.
Yeah.
And I think that she does hold a little bit of I think she's got this weird balance of going on where it's she kind of dislikes the situation that she's in because she feels like everybody's judging her and she's the human and everybody thinks that she's going to go off the rails. But at the same time, I think that she also kind of sees this as this is all I know, this is my home, this is where I need to fit in, and she just hates the things inside of her as well that counteract that. But I also believe that she's ambitious and playing the game. And
You don't think any of that's an act?
I think some of it might be.
I'm just curious.
But I think that I don't know. I feel like there were definitely times where she was legitimately saying it to Lift. Or to whoever her name is.
Lift.
No, to whatever
It is legitimately impossible for you to not call Spin Lift. I mean, to not call Spin Lift.
I did it for a while, but then I made a joke, and now I'm back to doing it.
For a while, I thought that Brade was gonna turn.
Yeah.
Up until she confessed to Spin that she was trying to recruit her to the cause. Then I realized that she was just with them, and if Spin came out to her, she was gonna report it.
Remember when she shot all of the civilians down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, I think.
What do you mean? That was Spin. Didn't you watch the news? That was Spin. Spin shot them all down. That evil human.
Dirty human.
Yeah,
Dirty human.
I think
Go ahead,
that Brade is definitely resentful of her situation. You do get to see one or two temper flare-ups, like when she was in a press conference with Winzik, and she like threw her drink against the wall and shocked all the other Dions in there. So I think she's just in a very complicated situation. She's basically kind of like a trained like fighting dog, I guess, where she's kind of abused. She certainly doesn't get a lot of enjoyment in her current position. But I think that she's smart enough to know when opportunity strikes to jump on it.
So my opinion was that way, but now that I've thought about it a little bit, I think that even throwing the drink against the wall is all a ploy. She's just perpetuating the human aggressiveness to the public and to people with Winzik. We don't know a lot about her private life with Winzik.
We don't.
We really don't. It's all been hidden.
So do you think she's
very
straight
loyal.
up loyal to Winzik then?
She's clearly loyal to Winzik, but we don't know why. We don't know if she really is unhappy or if it's all for show, partially to try to recruit spin, partially to make sure that everyone else gets the right vibe of human aggression. I'm a monster. I'm human. Like, just the way that she perpetuates it. I wonder, and this could be totally left field and totally wrong, because I could easily see all indications being that she's complex and has those issues and everything, but I could also see her playing everybody. Just playing them all.
You have to also keep in mind, though, that Winzik straight up said to Brade, because he was stationed outside Detritus, he realized the effectiveness of a little bit of aggression. So I think one of the reasons that Brade finds him so genius is because he's the only one that accepts that side of her.
Right.
You're an aggressive human.
Yeah.
And I think everybody else genuinely does piss her off that they don't see that in her. And I think why she's so loyal to him is because he's like, don't worry, that's not a bad thing. Come with me. I'll use that as a plus. And I think that with Lift showing up and how well they worked together,
Spencer.
and how well with Spencer showing up, now it's not on purpose. Shoot. So with Spencer showing up, and with how well they worked together when they were training, I mean, we hear from Spencer's point of view, like, oh, we don't even have to like communicate. We just automatically know where we are. And I think that part of that is obviously that they're both Cytonic, and part of it is, I think, just the fact that they're both trained human.
Well, they're clearly at another level of expertise.
They're at another level. They see things that other people don't. They just have each other's back. And I think the fact that even though she doesn't know she's human, I think the fact that that the race that she's pretending to be is so similar to humans in a lot of ways that I think that kind of made her hate the fact that so many people judge her for being aggressive even more. Even though she's trying to combat it, even though she's trying to hold it back and fit into the society, I think she also has like this conflicted back and forth about it.
I have a great... Oh, go ahead, Captain. I want to hear this first.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I have a question which I just wanted a distinction which could potentially highlight a lot about Brade's personal character. Did you guys get the sense when they were explaining the mission of how to defeat the Delvers, how the Cytonics, a.k.a. Alanik or Brade, would fly into the core and would detonate a bomb? Did you guys get the sense that when they detonate the bomb, that was something they were not going to be coming out of? Like that was kind of a suicide bomb?
I thought for a little bit, yes.
I thought it could be.
Okay.
I thought that they might... And honestly, I was thinking about these aliens and specifically using lesser species to do all this work.
Yeah.
I was kind of like... Of course they would. I mean, I don't know that they thought for sure that it would be something you wouldn't come out of, but I think they thought, well, if they didn't...
Yeah, they're expendable.
Yeah,
expendable.
right.
But Cytonics are not necessarily expendable, though.
I felt like it was a Independence Day thing.
Yeah.
Well, they launched the bomb,
And
and then they had like 25 seconds to get out.
yeah.
But like, I wasn't sure if they also wasn't just exploded right then was still inside.
Yeah.
Because I had that impression, and that would give us a lot of insight on Brade's character. If that was specifically like suicide is it, then you would feel really bad for her, because that means that Brade truly feels trapped in her scenario. If she would be willing to go along with that plan.
Yeah. I think that's a great thought.
But the bomb turned out to be like
Not a bomb.
like a psychic scream.
Yeah.
Right. So the point is kind of moot, but I'm just thinking about her thought process leading up to that point.
But
That's
she
what
knew.
we don't know.
I think she knew, though.
she knows
She
what
knows.
it
She
was.
knew.
She knows the plan.
the whole time what
Yeah.
King Crab was planning.
Yeah, Winzik. she is definitely Whimsic's Grimwoody.
Yeah.
Minus, at least maybe minus
No spoilers.
the specialty. So we don't know that yet, but I'm curious about her because and I'm actually so curious, and the reason that I said maybe some of those controversial things is I agree with you guys. That's a highly likely possibility, but there's something in me that feels like she knows everything and is not what she's portraying. And it could be like, it's kind of a left field thing. Like if I were to hit a home run. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to make a Brett bet on this. And it's going to be about the outcome of Brade.
Okay.
So we don't need to spend a ton of time on it ever again. But we can actually say, you guys can help me. It's kind of about this. Brade knew everything and accepted it all and made those choices on her own, or regrets it and because of the circumstances at the very end pulls a what's a great comparison, like there's so many characters like at the very
Opportunistic.
pulls a Darth Vader at the very end, chucks Whimzik down into the Death Star's core as he explodes.
Wait. So what are the two options?
I don't know. I'm like hoping
She's
for a
with
little,
Winzik to the end, or she
Turns on
decides.
like kind of her internal conflict has her turn aside.
So is the Brett bet then, does she stay with Whimzik to the end, or does she turn on him?
Does she
I think
remain
that's-
loyal, or does she turn on
Yeah,
him?
I think that simplifies it. There's obviously a lot of intricacies there that we were just talking about.
Right.
But if we make it that, it might be kind of interesting. What do you
Sure.
think, Hitman?
I think by the end she's gonna change sides.
There's high potential for that, especially if what we're all talking about is accurate.
Because
But if what I said earlier was accurate, she's
I
still
felt
up to the end.
that when she was talking to Spencer, a lot of it was true.
But that was
how-
all Spence's judgment,
No.
which is terrible.
But how she felt, that's true. But Brade also came out and said some stuff to her. Like,
She did. That's true.
and I felt that was coming from a truthful place, but she was just using it
To
and-
recruit her.
Yeah.
Okay, so the hitman says she's gonna pull a Darth Vader and betray at the end.
Captain.
I am going to go on the side with Ben. I'm going to say that she breaks loyalty, and I will take my bet one further and say that that move will cost her her life. In a true Darth Vader style.
Bonus. He gets a bonus. So that means that if both of those come to fruition, then he gets to give a bonus. I obviously am going to say, with my home run, that she's more than she thinks. She might even overthrow Whimzik at some point and become the main enemy. I don't. That's like I'm like reaching so far for that one, but it's possible. So I'm gonna go and
I can see
say
that.
I'm gonna go and say that she is. We don't know about her past. It's definitely twisted, but she's ambitious and she's gonna stick to him, or replace him.
Saying loyal.
Stay loyal or betray him only to do what he was gonna do for herself.
I mean, I could see with what I think about her, I could see her still, like, what I explained before, I could see her doing either. So, like, I think it's just a 50-50 guess for the way that I feel about her right now, because I think that she is loyal to him. I think she does get frustrated with how the society looks at her, but I also think that she's ambitious, and I think that she wants to prove to everybody that, you know, humans can become something by staying with him and being his number two. But I could also see her eventually sympathizing with Spin's point of view. So
Getting some of that human love.
yeah. So I'm gonna
So
go
put your money
with. I'm gonna say that she stays loyal to Winzik.
Whoa, I didn't expect that, actually. All right, it's 2-on-2. This is good fun. We got 2 Brett bets, 1 per episode so far. We
But
might
I
have
think
more
she's
this
going to be
episode.
conflicted at times and make a
Yeah.
bad choice at the end
Oh, what's a bad choice?
by
Want a
staying
bonus?
with him.
Ah, she's going to be conflicted, make a bad choice, and then regret
Yeah.
it.
I think that
I like
I think that she's a. I personally think that she's a conflicted character. I don't think she's like all gung ho. I mean, I think she is, but I think she's going to be a conflicted character.
Okay.
But I think that she will end up staying, and just like Andrew said, it will cost her her life.
Ooh, alrighty. Ben,
So I
do
think
you
she's
want
gonna
to
stay
add a
with them
home
and pay the
run?
price?
A home run asterisk to your bet as well, since the rest of us have.
Yeah.
Oh no, not at the moment.
Okay.
I can't think of anything good.
And then,
I just want to piggyback off Andrew. Like, yeah, she's gonna die.
and then, Demon, for your asterisk home run, I said that she will replace Winzik. For
That's
your
good.
asterisk home run.
Like, she'll, like, backstab him. Spin will think she's on her side. By the way, I'm tucking on my ass right now. Spin's going to think she's on her
those are the
side.
best
It's going to be
ones.
at this critical moment, and then she's going to be like, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah.
I'm taking over the universe.
Some of
like
my
that.
favorite
Would
Brett
be
bets
like-
have been ones where I just go off of a gut feeling that I have literally no reason to think.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Will be her and Spin talking to the King Crab, and then they're like, "Let's kill the King Crab, and we can take over."
Yeah.
And then Spin's like, "No, we can't do this," and then they fight.
So,
Something-
so
like some
I'm
other
gonna
movie.
Suddenly
go
they have
for,
lightsabers.
I'm gonna go for a huge Hail Mary, absolutely impossible one. I think she's gonna pull out shades at that moment and a gun and be like, "I feel like crab for dinner." And blow his fucking head off.
Anybody feel like
yeah.
crab legs
Yeah.
tonight?
How you like humans now,
Oh,
bitch?
man.
And then,
We're getting out of
and then
control.
as his
Okay,
corpse
wait.
flies up, Mbot shoots it with a laser, makes tempura out of it, and it lands
Yeah.
into a bowl of rice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He goes,
it's actually...
this is fungusy.
So that was a fantastic transition. So unless there's anything else about Brade at this point in time, not that we can't come back and revisit her, I need desperately to talk about Mbot. The
One last thing about Brade.
Okay.
The cool thing about Brade is that if she ever did want to become a stripper, her name is already a stripper name.
There you go.
And
No
coming
comment.
up on the stage next, Brade.
She's a servant of
Anyway,
King
sorry,
Crab.
Go ahead. Mbot.
all right.
She has a buzz cut, so I don't get it.
Oh no, that would be bad.
Yeah. So Mbot. Oh,
Oh, I
God.
think you do.
Oh God. So Mbot, we have the pleasure of having a basically grounded Mbot the entire book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not only is he grounded, he's also suffering from
Am I human syndrome?
am I human syndrome
Or am I
and
alive?
severe anxiety. And yeah, there's some major issues also with the fact that he rewrote his code to let Spin fly him, because now he's pulling this weird like momentary relapse situation whenever his code is fighting, you know, his it's kind of like a warning, like. Yeah, and so, let's talk a little bit about Mbot. I mean, I'm worried out of my mind for him. He's one of my favorite characters. I do think, like Spencer, he's more than what he seems, especially because we don't understand a ton about Figment technology, old Figment technology, and us learning now a little bit about Figments. Even if he was AI, just straight up computer AI, I'm still worried about him. The technology that ship represented was humongous advantage.
But the good thing is, assuming Spencer gets back, she has MBAT, and he can transfer that data, hopefully.
I mean, I'm worried about that shitty copy, and like the fact that we don't have technology like that anymore in this husk. I'm sure it will turn out, because I mean it is a story, and obviously there's ups and downs. But
now there's no restrictions on him sharing that information.
Right.
That
True.
he has. Because before it's like, I can't do it because my program's like,
right.
I can't share.
Right. Yeah, he did break that.
Click.
So
Right.
let's talk
director's
about
rebooting.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Sometimes I was getting so pissed at him. I was kind of like, why are you guys having this conversation in the middle of a fucking battle?
Yeah.
Right.
Stop. Stop having this
time to
conversation.
talk.
I remember there was one moment that I thought was funny, because like Spence's fighting, or was this in the first? No, it was in this book. Spence's like fighting, and Mbot, and she's like, "We're in the middle of a battle. Can you focus up?" He's like, "I'm capable of thinking of all sorts of things at once." But I'm just like, "Yeah, but Spin isn't. Shut up. Stop asking her questions."
There you go. Yeah.
Think about it. And yeah, exactly. That's hilarious. But I do love that guy, and the advantage that having it's kind of like Iron Man and Jarvis, like hands down. It's like having just this like ideal, complete, basically OP computerized system helping you at every turn.
I was actually really, really worried for a little bit when she had to go to that training exercise without him.
You were thinking like, oh man,
I was like really worried. Like, I mean, I know that Spin is a really talented pilot, but how much is she so reliant on him that this isn't going to go well? Luckily, it ended up not really being a big factor, but it did worry me.
The good news is that Mbot did have that regulation in place where he cannot fly himself.
Yeah.
So though he could help by like using his sensors and such, Spin did have to fly.
But
Now,
she relies on that intel a lot in the past.
She does. And also the not only the intel, we know from book one how much better his like gravitate, his gaps and
his gyro.
exactly like everything in him is better in essence.
Honestly, I'm glad that his ship form is gone.
Oh,
Not
really?
him, but he's still there.
Yeah.
But now Spencer doesn't have like a superpower besides the Cytonic.
Besides her actual superpower.
And her amazing flying ability.
Yeah.
But that's a natural talent.
There you go.
Her flying
There you go.
ability.
Yeah.
But she's on equal footing with like all other pilots.
Yeah.
When she gets back, she's got to use a normal ship and use her skills and a Cytonic ability to fight.
It'll be good for growth.
And this also means that Mbot could be reassigned into a ship with destructors or weaponry, which is not something that we got to see previously.
Yeah.
Well, what did he have? He had the light lance.
Well, I think Andrew means that they can
Mbot.
put his AI into
almost
other
anything.
things.
Yeah.
And have him
Well, if he
fight.
can fly himself, holy shit, you might as well just upload him in anything that you want
But-
and have him go.
I wonder if some of those safeguards will transfer over, because he said that he transferred his code line by line. So hopefully they have the whole
Well,
thing.
but he was able to break the safeguards because what he was doing is, while they were tearing him apart, he was trying to recode himself, and then at the end, he was able to recode himself and then lie. It just took a long time because every time he started to do it, it would
shut him down.
But like the worry that I have is
But there's
that
lots of safeguards, is my point.
Yeah, there may
we
be
don't know
more,
what exactly transferred over yet.
I'm also, as much as I love Mbot, those safeguards are there for a very good reason.
Yeah.
And the reality is that you got to be careful about, like even some things that Mbot says. Think about this, like, oh, and you're very crappy organic material, slow thought human, whatever,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. Like if you get that recopied enough times with somebody without the right experiences, and suddenly it's like, oh, these shitty organic humans.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, as much as I love Mbot, I mean, those safeguards are there for a reason, unless Figment technology is that he's more Figment than something else, which would make him a little different. But
More
it
of
is
a living
something that
creature.
Right, I do worry about it a little bit because the AI thing is something that you just got to be careful with, regardless. If you have one good experience with an AI, it's like having a good experience with a human.
Yeah.
And a lot of humans can be great, but a lot of humans can be shitty.
Yeah,
It
it's
only
like-
takes one shitty, superpowered, overpowered AI thing to just wipe out
It's like,
all humanity.
you know, if Jeff was like the only human I had ever met, it's like, oh, see, humans aren't that bad. Humans are nice.
Right.
They give me liquor.
Right.
And then you go just meet some serial killer, and it's like, oh, you're human. I know humans are good.
Yeah.
But
Big mistake.
here's one thing that I think is like really, really interesting. It's a little off topic, but not really, but it's on the AI topic. So I completely understand why Delvers would hate communications. They hate that it interferes with their like silence. Like they find it like really, really annoying, really bothersome. Like, oh my gosh, they're just like interrupting, you know, my flow.
Think about it if you were watching a movie
Yeah.
and there was a baby crying constantly in the corner.
Yeah.
And then, well, actually, that's not even that much because you can kind of understand that because of the whole baby thing. But let's say like there's like a fire alarm going off,
Yeah. It's like
and you're trying to watch a movie.
why doesn't that turn off? Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's my question. Why does AI set them off? That makes no sense to me.
I was thinking about that because that's one of the things I was thinking about
Yeah.
too. Like, what's the big deal about AI?
AI.
Why does that bring them there? But his computer system was faster than light.
Oh, that's right. It works off of the...
Yeah.
There's
There's like all his processes, since it's a computer like nonstop. It's like 1,000 pinpricks at a second compared to like radio transfers and whatnot.
Right. So, with that then being said, do you guys think that even though the code is saved in this little mini bot, do you think that he's not going to become full mbot until he's back inside something that allows him to process like that?
That's what I think. I do think that. Well, they did say when she went into the nowhere, he started to speed up. And as he got close to that, and he's like, suddenly I don't seem to be thinking like such a...
Started sounding like
it
Mbot
still
again.
wasn't quite Mbot even then.
Yeah.
So I think that the nowhere helps, but I think he's going to need some tech that uses that
Figment
kind of
tech.
I think it's psionic tech. It's almost like not quantum, but psionic tech, because he needs to be able to access that to use his true potential. I just hope that all the code translated, because
So
And there's one more thing I want to talk about with Mbot.
Sure.
Was when Spencer found Mbot at the end of the book, and she's like, "Oh, there was his hardware. They killed him.
yeah.
Did they actually kill him? Because if King Crab's willing to throw a coup
Yeah, why wouldn't he not save it?
and like save it and like just like move it, like put that in safekeeping for now,
I
so
thought- yeah, I
everyone
was
thinks he
wondering that.
destroyed it, and then in the next book there'll be a whole fleet of Mbots.
Oh,
enemy
no.
Mbots.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That would be pretty wild.
I mean, I would not put it beyond Winzik, aka King Crab, as the hitman has designated him.
He's already decided to summon Delvos,
Yeah.
and
What a risk.
Yeah.
overthrow the
that
government.
move.
Yeah.
So he's
definitely
why
gonna-
not take the AI?
Yeah.
Well, think about it. If they had a whole fleet of Mbots that he could bypass the thing that makes them not able to fly themselves,
Or just redirect them.
he could use them instead of the Cytonics to constantly redirect the Delvers to anywhere that he wants.
Wow.
Yeah. Good.
That'd be huge.
That would suck.
There is definitely some open questions
Yeah.
out on. And Winzik, by the way, I feel so bad for Kuna in a way, because Kuna kind of got it. Like, she was like, oh, or he, or it. I don't know.
Them.
They.
Refer to them as them.
Them. They were like, I see that there might be a purpose for having humans and aggression at some point. We do need some. They had some foresight there, and they would constantly yell at Winzik for having short-sightedness. But I think when you know Winzik's goals, it's actually a little bit more far-sighted than that, because he don't give a fuck about what you care about.
It's not that he's short-sighted; it's just that he's self-sighted.
He's self-sighted. Yeah, good way to put it. That's an awesome way to put it.
He's selfish-sighted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm very worried about Mbot and his journey, and I'm excited for next book, because I think it'll be a journey of growth and stuff. But I personally don't think we're getting Mbot the badass back for a while.
So
I was wrong about last book though. So
I have a and this. No, it'll probably be answered in next book, I would assume. But I have a Brett bet that I do want to do. It's a really simple one.
Okay.
But I think it's a fun one. Okay.
Yay.
So my Brett bet is this: will the Mbot that is currently with, like, little mini Mbot, will the Mbot that is currently with Spin refer to his past self as Dad?
Ooh. Because they had the whole long conversation about reproduction and how that makes life.
Yeah.
Oh, dang. That's a good one, Brett.
So I'm going to say no, because that would make me terribly sad, because that would mean that real Mbot's dead. Even though that's highly possible.
Yeah. Ben?
I'm also gonna say no.
Okay.
I feel like Mbot transferred himself, and he thinks of himself as the same.
I think he transferred himself, but I think that if it's real Mbot, he's gonna see himself as his kid.
Yeah.
That's an amazing way to look at it, though.
Yeah. That's
In
a
his,
good point.
go ahead, Andrew.
I was just going to say, that's a good point. I think I will join your side, Brett, so it'll be 2v2.
So I
Cheers.
think I'm gonna go with yes, also, as you know.
Nice.
Because I think in his willingness to want to become alive, that's how he's gonna view it. I am now my son.
Yeah.
And he may, I would even go so far as to say that they may even play on that while he's talking with Spin.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'm going to hold the
I
mind.
am my son.
And
You know, something like that.
he may have enhanced
You know what? The way that you just
line.
said that, this is good. Me and Ben, I think, have a chance, but it could happen, man. That shit could happen for sure.
The little mini Mbot may have enhanced lying capabilities and enhanced humor capabilities, so
Yeah.
we may get even better jokes from mini Mbot.
Well, now that Mini Mbot can lie, this is going to be great.
Yeah.
Spencer, am I alive if I can't lie? I did highly enjoy how he kind of like wrote more of himself into the mini droid that he helped Spencer build. Mm-hmm. By the way, what a great plan.
Yeah,
The
to
whole
have,
plan was-
have it sneak into the engineering room.
Yeah, the whole thing was great until obviously it went wrong, but then Spencer again forgot about the most obvious spy caution thing that you need to worry about ever, which
Discretion.
She just can't. She's just so like single-minded. She just, but amazing idea what she had to try to like diffuse the situation. Mm-hmm. There were several points though where I was like about to yell at Spencer during her infiltration because she would like give too much information away, or she'd be just like telling a story and it'd be like, "Oh yeah, on my planet, blah 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 blah," and then she'd be like,
Oh wait.
yeah. And I'm like, she just gave a bunch of information. I remember about the not just the slug, but like some other stuff. And then like, oh, that's very interesting. I guess we're gonna have to look into that on your planet. And like walk away. And I'm like, you just fucked so many people. Like, your loud mouth just fucked a whole like planet that you don't even know.
I mean, we got to keep in mind that this is the girl that brought up herself with the original plan. Like, I need months of training for this shit.
Yeah.
And that was at a lot less of a spyness that you needed to be.
Yeah,
like, going to the Crow ship and pretending to be a Crow would require a lot less training than going to Starsight pretending to be a race that she's never had any interaction with.
Yeah.
And, you know, she knows that she's ill-equipped to be doing the job that she has to do.
It's
right
her
now.
personality, and it really is just her personality. And I thought it was fitting that those things happen. But I was constantly like, "Do you just know what you did? Like this whole planet is just totally screwed now."
Yeah.
And if there is really a human hidden base there, they're fucked too.
See, I was under the impression that there isn't, and that she was just going off of like.
Well, we don't know that.
Well, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
I thought she was just drawing a conclusion, like, oh, it makes sense that they wouldn't join the superiority because they have a base.
There was some like intelligence that said there may be. But
they said like the group of humans there disappeared, and they said they left. Did they leave?
That's right. So that would make sense then.
But
that they're hiding them there.
Yeah,
it's like the first scene of Inglourious Bastards. They're just underneath the floorboards.
There was moments where, in Spence's judge of character. Yeah, by the way. Sorry, that was delayed because I was talking, but I heard.
That's all right. You're not in the void, and we just transferred you to a new Jeff.
Hello. Hello. I do got to say though, she did a stellar job, a better job than I would have thought she was going to be.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sanderson actually has said that it's more fun to write about people thrown into a situation they would be ill-equipped to handle than it would be to write about people who would be well-equipped to handle a situation. And so I think he actually enjoyed throwing loudmouth Spencer into a situation and just have her balk her giant mouth around, which was way, way, way realistically tapered back in this book. Because she was trying to be cautious about it, but still, if it was like a me or a you, obviously the hitman, he wouldn't relinquish an identity when he's about to assassinate somebody or something like that. But
anytime he did mess up, it would just create another dead body. But like, I shouldn't have said that.
but I could see like Spencer, and that she was getting close to people and like spurting too much off and kind of like, Arr. And I'm always just like, and then the worst part of it was she was so paranoid about her cleaning lady. I was so paranoid about her. This most innocent little cleaning lady.
I know.
And then even Mbot's like, by the way, I'm a spy ship designed to spy. No, she's not spying.
She hasn't been doing any snooping or spying while you're gone. She just couldn't
get it, but like then she can't go off and she just spits her mouth all over the place, and I'm just like...
She's got a little bit of Khaled in her.
I felt so bad for that clean lady.
She left Spencer so many treats that just uneaten. Wasn't she like, Mbot reported she was just doing crossword puzzles while she was there?
Yeah.
And then she made, when Spencer got the cleaning bot, she's like, oh, a cleaning bot?
Yeah.
Am I not good enough? It's just like, do you need help setting it up? I'll not come back. It's like, jeez.
What was her name?
It's
Mrs.
like having a cook
Chenwick
and then all
or
of a
something
sudden,
like that?
Yeah, Mrs. Chenwick. Mrs. Chenwick
Yeah.
or something like that. It was too good.
Yeah.
I just loved the little things because it allowed Spencer to still be her character. Mm-hmm. And it was just funny because, again, we get the beauty of a character that isn't perfect. That is this character, and that doesn't see it all. It's really good. It's good. It's refreshing in some ways, though it can also be frustrating as a reader to read and be like 10 million steps ahead of the character. Mm-hmm. But it's refreshing too because you're following this character. You got to step back and enjoy that moment and the growth that this character is going through, and that's real. Sanderson does a good job of making that real because then when they're that 10 steps down, when they get there, how amazing of a moment is that going to be?
I mean, we
he's
also
grown
have
that whole way.
We also have to keep in mind though that like I don't necessarily think that she's like slow in these instances to like change, because when you really think about it, these are the people that she's built up in her mind that have kept him captive and been trying to destroy him for her whole life.
Right.
And two, that final warning from the girl that basically started all this, saying, don't believe their lies. Don't believe their what did she say? I think she said lies, but maybe it was like their safety or whatever.
Peace.
Yeah, their peace. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, if that was the last, like, the thing that I heard as, like, the last words from this girl before I darted off to a place I've never been to, like, I'd be super paranoid as well.
Yes.
And,
man.
maybe she should have even been a little bit more paranoid.
I actually approve of her paranoia. I just don't approve of where she placed her paranoia. Does that make sense? Because the
paranoia has no choice, though.
That's why I liked it. That's why I liked it.
Yeah.
So, like, although I disagreed with where she paired it, I enjoyed it because it was true to Spin.
Yeah.
Because why did she hate Miss Kresnik or Kreswich? Is because she was a crab. She was a krell. And the krell, she was not a king crab. She was a maid crab.
We need to start supplying a dictionary for our episodes. All right, anytime we say king crab, that means this character.
Yeah.
Lift means spin.
Right.
Oh dear, we're hopeless.
Detractors is detritus. It's like we just have like a whole thing on the screen.
I love our. We have some commenters that enjoy and comment on our stuff, and we actually love it because most of them are significantly more knowledgeable than us.
Yeah, they've been like reading it for years.
Yeah, so like the thing is that we absolutely love it, and we do actually consider it very deeply.
Yeah,
but at the same time, we don't have like the capability or knowledge or time often to dive as deep as we want to.
Yeah.
And so what we love the most is when we get people that are commenting and like providing these like great insights and tidbits, because we get to talk about that on episode later.
Yeah.
So if you guys have more greater insight, and hopefully you still enjoy our own clever stupid.
And hopefully you can understand our nicknames for everything.
Indeed. Guys,
yes, that's true.
Let's do a quick drink to Captain Hesho.
Captain Hesho. You're right. We talked about the kitten.
Yeah, I almost cried.
That was pretty sad.
surprising to me.
It was.
I did not see him dying.
Yeah.
Dude, and the way that he did it was so effing perfect. I love that he didn't do some big drawn out dramatic scene of us like seeing like or reading about him going. I love that just a new voice comes over the intercom.
Yeah.
I love that so much. It was so cool.
It was amazing how well they manipulated the ship.
Yeah.
With, like, they were essentially
they had a hull
piloting it as
breach,
crew.
and they were like losing air, and the team banded together to get it back up and running.
I do feel very sad about that because I loved his ridiculous poetry, and also I know that they can still be an ally, but how much more would it have meant in that alliance if Hesho himself was there? But at the same time, I'm surprised that was the only real death that we had, to be honest. I mean, let's think about the first book. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know, like, it surprised me. It's almost like after book 1, Sanderson got me ready for like lots of people to die, and then in book 2, by about halfway through, Sanderson had already settled me into main characters won't die again.
Yeah.
And then he like popped me with that one, and I was kind of like, damn it.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little sting. I thought that maybe, we were under the assumption that the guerrilla protester dude died, but obviously we know that's not the case because there was mention of a prison colony on the other side of that black hole, and then Spencer herself goes through the black hole. So obviously that's not a.
I don't know.
She did.
Yeah.
So
yeah, she found it at the end.
Well, I thought it was just like a death sentence.
So that
to
brings
float
me
in
up
the
to a
void
question
forever.
that I had.
Yeah, I think it's exile.
Yeah.
Well, they call it exile, but Spencer even writes it as exile could be execution.
Right.
Could be, but she
Right.
goes into it.
Yeah.
But I
it's
think, like-
unknown. It's an unknown.
So
Like,
I think we're
she's a
safe.
Cytonic, so I felt she could escape from that place.
Maybe
well,
he
the other
can't.
guys,
Maybe.
most
Yeah.
people could not.
Yeah.
They just float around until they die.
I
Yeah,
want to
that
talk
could
to you
very
about
well
that
be.
a little bit because it is clear, and they do say so, that they mine acclivity rings from the nowhere.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's
Actually,
little...
it's the only place that you can get a
Yeah, that's
acclivity
Correct.
rings.
And they actually mine them from pockets of permanent entry, like, I guess,
Portals.
little mini portals
Yeah.
that are everywhere. And
Because that was one, and then there might be one on Detritus.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
there probably is one on detritus, which was crazy when you heard that because you realize that not only can those humans mine their own acclivity rings if they find out how to do so, they also now know
Doom
the
slugs.
secret of the doom slugs. Which, how perfect was that Instagram post that Brett put up before even getting to that part? Although we all had theories.
We all
Yeah.
had a pretty good inkling that
Did you see it,
Doom
Captain?
Slug.
no, I didn't.
For those of you who haven't seen it yet, check out our Instagram. There's a great little video on there that the director put up.
Yeah, I think it was December 7th, somewhere
Something
around
like
there,
that,
2019.
Awesome. I was looking at the previous Brett bets from the first book, and one of the first ones I came across was, is Doomslug important? And everyone unanimously said yes. So,
Oh, cheers!
So we all lost
yeah.
that one.
In a way, that's true. Yeah. Because Doomslug is important, but not Doomslug himself.
oh, true.
I mean, yeah.
But yeah, he's
But do you think he's the
She's-
original?
phase.
She. Yeah,
She?
She?
I don't know.
I don't
Spencer refers to Doomslug as she.
know. It's Slug.
It's a slug.
So you think that was the original hyperdrive system of Mbot?
Gotta be.
Doomslug?
Gotta
Could
be.
be.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
gotta be.
Well, no, I don't think so because I think that Spencer had it right. The reason that MBOT was programmed by the previous pilot to look for fungus is because they had lost the original hyperdrive, and the pilot needed to find another slug.
I thought he went there to find more slugs.
I think so. Well, that's probably right.
And
And then,
Doomslug came up and found Mbot because Mbot was chilling next to some mushrooms, which
Correct.
they eat.
They
Okay.
they hang
They
out.
do.
Makes
They
sense.
eat.
I was under the impression that myself that was the original hyperdrive system, and they were looking for fungus to keep it alive.
Oh, that's
Oh,
a good
food
spin
for
on
it.
it, Ben. I like
and
that
they
a
went
lot.
to the
Yeah.
planet
that's
to look
feasible.
for more.
Yeah.
Doomslugs.
That could be too. I think that's open for debate. That's maybe something we never find out truly though,
Yeah,
because
I mean it's
in the past, it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, whoa,
What's it like?
yeah, well, what are you gonna do? It's kind of like, well, you
Well,
know, what really happened back in history? You know, I don't know.
the one thing is, we didn't talk about. But we're talking about Doomslope might be like 80 years old.
Yeah.
What's that invisible alien's name?
Vapor. Yes.
Is also extremely old because he lived through the Human Wars.
The last one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's been there since the last Human War. There was 4, I guess.
3, I thought.
Oh.
Guys, don't talk about my age. Whoa!
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Does anybody smell lemons? Was cinnamon a good thing?
Burnt
Lemons
cinnamon?
was bad.
Lemons
cinnamon
is
was
bad.
Good, right?
Cinnamon is good, I think, yeah.
Yeah. My God. All right, so let's talk
It's
about.
so weird. Oh, Vapor, you smell pissed.
Vapor, what's wrong? Come on, you gotta tell us. We know you're pissed.
No, I'm not. I'm not pissed at all.
I'm not being aggressive.
So let's go into now the superiority.
Okay.
Talk a little bit at the politics. We haven't talked at all about Kuna. We haven't talked about the politics there. We obviously find out Kuna at the end is doing a lot more than we had thought.
Yeah.
I liked,
for-
first off, right out of the barrel, I liked that Sanderson kept making Spensa and also by extension the readers flip-flop on Kuna's loyalty,
Yes.
like throughout the
That
book.
was awesome.
At first, you're immediately distrusting of Kuna because of the awesome smile that they have.
Yeah.
And then and then you're like, oh, maybe they're good. Oh, no, they're bad. Oh, no, maybe they're good. It keeps flip-flopping.
Yeah.
So, and I like
Well,
that.
not only that, but you automatically when you see like someone in a position of power, like using someone that they see as inferior as a society, you automatically kind of get like really suspicious.
Right.
But it's like she had the best intentions. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
The best thing that they did was Sanderson did is draw to that smile, like you were saying, and it's awesome because Spencer interprets it as this condescending smile, or like this smile or that smile. Mm-hmm. But then he draws attention to as she learns about diodes and learns about that they don't show their teeth and all this stuff.
yeah.
You start to understand, but maybe not. I think maybe evenly with Spencer in this case. You might not be ahead on Kuna because Kuna's motives are so masked.
Yeah.
But you're like wondering about that smile, and then like, oh, but diodes do this instead of smile and whatever, and that's like, a good three chunk, a good quarter before you reveal anything about Kuna. So I love that cultural, like show teeth, show aggression thing.
I can definitely say that for me, I think this is one incident where I was basically side by side with Spin.
Me too.
Like
I agree.
I think I had the same views of her at the same exact times, I think, and I didn't come to the realization till really Sanderson straight up said it.
I agree with you, and that's rare for me when I'm reading. Like normally when I'm reading, I'm like, okay, because we get a bit as a reader, we get
a lot more information. Yeah.
information, and also we're not bound by the characters'
Yeah.
personality and perspectives, and
Yeah.
so we're an observer in a way.
Yeah.
And in this case, I was doubtful of Kuna the whole time.
Yeah.
Until the end. Once I got towards the end, I got the same feeling that Spin did, but it was at the same time that she got
she
the
did,
feeling.
yeah.
So it was well placed.
Yeah.
What do you think, Captain? Were you ahead of that, or?
No, I was kind of right along with Spensa for most of it. There was this interesting interplay where they kind of pitted both Kuna and King Crab.
Yes.
Wait, why did... God, now I forgot his name.
King Crab Winzik.
King
Winzik,
Crab,
yes.
Whimsic.
Whimsic.
They pitted Kuna and Whimsic kind of on opposing sides.
Oh,
and so kind of the more villainous that Whimsic appeared, kind of the more benevolent Kuna appeared. But then as it was getting a little bit closer to the end of the book, especially when Vapor kind of quote unquote holds Spencer hostage, and she's like, you need to come with me now, and they go into the ship and Kuna's in there, and they're like, yeah, I know what you've been doing. I'm like, oh shit, Kuna was not on the level this whole time. But so at that point you kind of think, oh my god, Kuna was the mastermind behind all of this, and she even had Whimsic tricked. But that wasn't the case. So,
Dude, it was frustrating for me because I was listening to that part as I was driving to Taekwondo that day, and I finished that chapter right as I pulled into Taekwondo, and I was like,
oh
man, I really don't want to go into Taekwondo. I want to read this again. I want to keep reading right now.
yeah.
I loved that moment, though. I don't know why, but there's just like sometimes, how like there's just moments. They're not necessarily super, super important moments, but there's just moments that really stick out to you in a book.
Yeah.
I loved that moment when you're kind of like wondering, oh my gosh, is
Kuna the
Vapor
master
or whatever? Is Vapor, is that her name? Mist?
Yeah.
Vapor?
Oh,
Vapor.
Yeah, Vapor.
Is Vapor someone that we can't trust? Because like she's like in cahoots kind of like with people, and you're just like really curious. And then she says, no, you can trust me. I don't forget I haven't said who you are or what you really are or something like that. And I don't know why, but that moment just stuck out to me, and it just...
Well,
made
the
me
whole
love her
time,
so much.
Spencer's like, "Can you tell who I am based on my smell?"
And you know that she can.
Yeah.
And you find out she can.
Yeah.
Oh, but she assumed that she was
can.
half.
Right.
Yeah.
She assumed it was like a mixed breed thing.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, she assumed there was a human colony, and then she was a half-breed.
Yeah.
Not that she was a human masquerading as
Right.
a-
Right.
she didn't get it right, but she
Yeah.
knew, she had a suspicion based on her smell.
Right.
Yeah.
Which
If she would have known that that type of technology even existed at any point in time anywhere in the universe, she might have figured it out.
and how about
But I think it's just impossible to even comprehend, like, oh, this technology that nobody has ever seen ever might exist.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing is too is that remember humans we're so like backwater, and her nation's so backwater. It's almost like
Yeah.
they're gonna make some assumptions just from that level. Mm-hmm. By the way, that makes me want to talk about something because we, and especially John, Sunshine in Ironside's. What do you mean you're gonna take trainees and put them up in like do all this stuff?
yeah,
God.
Right? Well, let's talk a little bit about Winzik's versions of initial training because there was even like full-scale debates or protests
Yeah.
about this. And you're talking about a culture that is not the same as the warrior culture in Detritus.
Right.
You're talking about culture that doesn't like aggression.
Yeah.
Right.
And so some of that was kind of absurd. Like
Yeah.
even
It was.
Spencer, I mean, it was very basic in the sense that Spencer was kind of like, this
Yeah.
is really easy. But then people were dying because they don't know how to handle that stuff.
At first, when I first encountered that, I thought to myself that obviously we learned later this is not the case, but when I first encountered that, I was thinking like, oh my gosh, these guys are so not used to any type of conflict that he doesn't even know how to do conflict properly.
Yeah,
like I thought it was like not him being a complete
Just
effing asshole.
Just being
I
an
thought it was
idiot.
just him just being
Ignorant.
completely oblivious as
Oblivious.
to the various levels of conflict.
Right.
It's like, oh, death is conflict, let's do death. And it's
Right,
just like
yeah.
I thought that they were just like they had such just not even a conceptual level of like what all this is because they've been away from it for so long.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
His entire ideas are such bullshit.
Yeah.
They are.
Because he believes, I think, more than his counterpart, that lesser species are just expendable.
Yeah.
And that's his force. Is like, only the best are going to survive, and this is how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
And he did that. Oh, fuck. I lost my train of thought, but he just like, we're going to put them up in the air, and someone's going to die, and that's fine.
No, it was a mess. I felt
Yeah.
bad for Spencer because she was literally like flying and she was like, holy crap, this is not even as bad as what we went through.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Literally,
dude.
she said that. She's
Yeah.
like, this is not even as bad as what we went through. Now, granted, she did say that most of the people that were in this were good pilots because they've been flying
had
their whole
experience,
lives.
at least.
But they didn't have any experience on how to actually do any combative maneuvers. They were just
Right.
flyers,
Right.
So,
I mean, the crazy thing is that I mean his thought process, or at least what he said his thought process was,
Winzik?
is not completely Winzik. It's not completely wrong. Like, let's pretend that there's a scenario where, like, literally, a Delver attack is 100%.
Yeah.
All like existence could be wiped out, and you need to find like 6 pilots because you only have like 6 ships to perfectly execute this and make sure that they all go through with it. Like, I can understand, like, under that situation, like, yes, the only way that you're going to know which 6 pilots can actually do this is to put them in this situation. Like, his thought process wasn't completely wrong. But one, you don't hide it from him and then just be like, oh, by the way, it's live. Go! And then
Yeah.
2, there wasn't even a threat to begin with. He was creating the threat.
yeah.
Right.
So it's like,
Yeah.
everything about what he did was wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean? He
Agreed.
hid it from them, plus the entire threat was faked.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he just wanted to have control of the Delvers.
Right.
He's such a dick.
the one
This is it. Oh, go ahead, Captain.
I was just gonna say on that similar note, the one scene where they were doing the first maze runs, where they were simulating going into the Delver, and
Yeah.
they and Brade and Spencer were in that deep that Deep Space Zone where they had their imitation maze. Spencer kept trying to ask the overseers for more information, and they're just completely clueless. They're like, I don't know.
Or they were like, don't you want this to be real?
Yeah.
Yeah. What the heck?
So I think this is a great turning point. So we could probably do a quick pause and get ready for the final push.
Sure.
And so we could take a quick break. For you guys, it'll be a week. And what we'll do is, because we're talking about right now this Winzik and the training, but we haven't gotten into the maze, and we haven't gotten into the story now.
Yeah.
And the actual core of what this maze is, and what the Delvers are, and the actual meat of the entire story. So what I think we'll do is we'll leave you here, and we will all go get a refill, while you will wait
for Jeff to edit.
For me to edit. And then you will see us again for part 3, giving us time to read our next book. And so with that, we will leave you at Winzik is a giant asshole.
Yeah.
Cheers.
My, dude. Such aggression.
Thanks again for joining us for this episode of Lit Literature. If you liked us, please check out our social media at Lit Literature 1 at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't hesitate to join in on the conversation. We appreciate the conversation, the questions, book recommendations, anything of that sort. Join in right on the social media websites. And don't forget to check us out at our website, litliterature.com, and our upcoming projects, though there aren't many now besides Lit Literature, you can find at lyket.net, Lyket. We do have a Patreon account, but if you truly want to support us, please like and share. Cheers.